Ovarian Cancer Australia, and I've been working on a project for the last 12 months with Peter McCallum Cancer Centre called Traceback. Traceback is a 4-year Commonwealth-funded project and partnership between Ovarian Cancer Australia and Peter McCallum Cancer Centre. With the study beginning mid-last year, approximately 1,500 tumour specimens dated between 2001 and 2016 are being tested for the cancer-causing BRCA1 and BRCA2 germline mutations. The aim of Traceback is to reduce the incidence of BRCA1 and BRCA2 associated breast and ovarian cancer in Australia by identifying women with a personal history of ovarian cancer who have not been referred for testing. It is estimated that as many as 11,000 women have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer in the last 15 years and have not been referred for genetic testing. Approximately 1,500 of the 11,000 women carry germline mutations that may be passed on to their children.
Lisa, I've been asked to give you the mic. She didn't want the mic.
I'm going to juggle. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Ovarian Cancer Australia initially developed a submission to the federal government to gain funding. Once funding was secured, the Traceback team was formed. The team now manage government expectations, develop communications, raise awareness, recruit women into the study, and provide advice and a pathway for testing from our in-house genetic counsellor, which is Belinda over here. Ovarian Cancer Australia is now responsible for recruiting 800 women into the study who have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer but have not had genetic testing. So there's 3 recruitment methods. The study consists of 3 cohorts. The existing cohort, which is women who have died from ovarian cancer and where a germline mutation is detected, the next of kin will be notified and offered testing. Then there's also the self-referrals. There are women who had a diagnosis of ovarian cancer and had not had genetic testing. And then there's the clinic-based outreach in Western Australia. Ovarian Cancer Australia are appealing to women who match the eligibility criteria to contact our self-referral line. Belinda here will be taking those calls. We're also looking for clinicians and industry bodies to assist in facilitating the sharing of information about the study and working with Ovarian Cancer Australia to establish a database and contact of eligible participants.
I'm a cancer specialist or a medical oncologist, and I have a special interest in gynecological cancers and in research. Traceback is a major cancer prevention initiative, and it's hoping to reduce the incidence of breast and ovarian cancer in Australia, and it's doing that by preventing those that are caused by inherited gene changes which affect DNA repair, and they include BRCA1 and 2, some of the most common gene mutations. And that's really on the basis that we know that ovarian cancer that's high grade and of the non-mucinous type has a very high incidence of these gene mutations, and that's causing the cancer and also driving the cancer. And in fact, they've got the highest percentage of these BRCA1 mutations than any other cancer type. And it's for this reason that the guidelines were changed in recent years, which now recommend that majority of women that are diagnosed with this type of high-grade non-mucinous cancer undergo genetic testing. But we know that in years gone by, before that information was available and before those guidelines were in place, that many women didn't receive testing. And that's really the focus for Traceback, to try and help to find those women that miss the opportunity for testing and ensure that they get access. And that will really be done by 2 main methods, and that's by helping women that are living with ovarian cancer access currently funded testing mechanisms. And the second is by undertaking testing on women that have since died of their disease. And the focus of that is really helping to get that information to their family members, because they actually remain at risk of having a gene mutation, but they would be currently unaware of that and have no method by which to be found or tested. So information like inheritance of a gene that affects DNA repair is actually really important for clinical care now, and it's a factor that's strongly considered by us as oncologists when we're looking at management options. So what Traceback could potentially do is give women significant information that could really positively impact upon their cancer treatment. So to be eligible for Traceback, it would be any woman that was diagnosed with a high-grade non-mucinous ovarian cancer but missed the opportunity for testing. So that could include women that are currently living with ovarian cancer, or it could include the family members of women that have died of ovarian cancer that also missed the opportunity for testing. If people would like more information on Traceback, the best thing would be to go to our Traceback website, and on that website you'll find some further information and a phone number to contact us, and we would be happy to answer any questions.
So we've got a website address. We'll give you more information on Traceback, and also our 1-800 number, which Belinda Crichton here will be taking calls. She's also our in-house genetic counsellor. Does anyone have any questions about the project, the study?
Have you even heard of Traceback? Have you heard about the project?
No.
This is a good time to ask any questions.
My mother had breast cancer. Is it still a good idea for me to?
Belinda will answer you.
My mother had breast cancer. Would have been in the 80s, and I've since been diagnosed with ovarian, but I get my breasts checked all the time. But am I still better to go on to something like the Traceback to get checked?
Yes, if you haven't had genetic testing already,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to call up, and we'll talk to you about what type of ovarian cancer you have, and if you could be eligible for Traceback, and if you have the type related to BRCA and breast cancer.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else got any questions? We'll be here the whole day.
Yeah.
So if you've got any questions, that might be a bit personal, just come by around lunchtime. Correct, Leah?
You know all those brochures you've got out there?
Yep.
Are all these lovely people able to take one, and perhaps even some, and take them back to their treatment centres and put them in all the information racks?
Yes, definitely. Yes, we've got plenty of Traceback brochures as well. Please take as many as you want, and make sure everyone gets some. That'd be great, thank you.
I was diagnosed 5 years ago, but I was just wondering, are your children eligible to get tested?
Have you had genetic testing?
I have had genetic testing.
If you've had genetic testing, I'm assuming that
It's come back.
Yeah. So the answer is no, because there's sort of nothing to test them for.
Okay.
But what you could do, if you've had genetic testing 5 years ago, contact the service where you had the testing and just say, hi, is my genetic testing up to date? Is there any other testing that would now be recommended for me? But once you're in the genetic system, you're sort of fine. We want the people who haven't got into the genetic testing system yet. But that's a great question. Thank you.
This afternoon's presentation, Angela this afternoon will be another good person to ask about that as well.
I'm an identical twin, so my concern was my twin sister. I did have the beginnings of the genetic testing, and I was told I was just a spasmodic event. But I guess my concern is her and where she would stand, being that we're identical. And we lost my mum to cancer, but it was lung cancer.
I'm just gonna yell. Oh, get the microphone. I guess I'm just interested what you said you've had the beginnings of genetic testing.
When I was diagnosed,
Okay.
in 2017, they put me forth and they started on guidelines because of them. They started the process, but then said that they never need to go any further.
Okay.
And I was classed as a supposed to be
I'm happy for you to give me a call and we can just maybe go, or maybe talk to me at lunchtime. We can just go through it in a bit more detail. Because if you've had the current standard for genetic testing for ovarian cancer, that's fine. But if you haven't, we can sort of arrange that for you.
Yes, my concern is that
Yes,
she
sister.
hasn't had
Yeah.
hysterectomy, but she's had children.
Yeah.
And in fact, we lost my mum to cancer. But
Yeah.
her cancer wasn't genetic.
Did you go to a genetic service yet?
It was just through the
Oncology.
oncologist.
Okay. Yeah. I'm happy to talk to you about it at lunchtime. Yeah.
I've been tested for genetic, and I haven't got the defect gene. I'm still interested in people who don't have the defect gene.
No, we're not. No. I guess it's what I said earlier. If there's been I'd say 3-4 years since you've had genetic testing, it might be worthwhile calling up. But yeah, no, we're not.
This might sound like a strange question, but men can get breast cancer too.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that a man can have breast cancer and have a BRCA gene and his family members would be in your potential pool of people?
It's possible that a man with breast cancer can have a BRCA mutation, but we're really focused on ovarian cancer and families where there's an ovarian cancer diagnosis.
I guess where I'm going with that, could his daughters potentially then go on to develop?
Not there. They should go and be referred for genetic testing, I would say, and go to a genetic service. But unless there's a case of ovarian cancer in the family, they're not really part of Traceback. I'm sorry, but we have to. The study is sort of quite contained in a way. Although we're sort of a big national study, it's also we've got to have some limits somewhere. But that's a really good question. Yeah.
May I ask, is it a diseased patient died from ovarian cancer? Are their daughters eligible for the test?
The daughters are eligible for Traceback, yes.
Anybody else?
Sisters?
Is there any age limit? For example, some
Over 18 can
All right.
Over 18 next of kin can enroll, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions over the lunch break, so thank you.